In this lecture, we'll be studying about comments in C++ programming. So we will see what are comments, how to write comments, and what are the types of comments that are there in C++ programming. Okay, so let's get started. So coming to comments, comments are program text that is ignored by the compiler. That means whenever we are writing a program, we may want to write something which is apart from the source code, or we may want the compiler to ignore something. So those are known as comments. Now comments help the human readers of our programs. So if you're writing some complicated program, and let's say that there are some functions that you're writing and you want some other people who are reading your code to understand what that function is doing. So you want to write a small description, or you want to write one line specifying what that function does. So in order to do that, you will write it within comments. And when you write it as a comment, it will not be treated as source code and the compiler will ignore that, but it will be helpful for the human readers. So they are typically used to summarize an algorithm, identify the purpose of a variable, or clarify an otherwise obscure segment of code. So like I said, it can be used for just clarifying or explaining what a specific piece of code or a variable or something else does. So the compiler ignores comments so that they have no effect on the program's behavior or performance. So this is what we just explained. It is not going to have any effect on the behavior or performance of the program because it is completely ignored by the compiler. So the question is, for whom are comments? We just said that compilers ignores the comments. Now who will make use of comments then? The readers of our code. So the readers of our code makes use of comments to understand the working of the code, like we just explained. So it is important to comment your code if you want to mention how that code is working and so on. So an incorrect comment is worse than no comment at all because it may mislead the reader. So you have to be very careful while writing comments, because if you write an incorrect comment, then that can mislead the reader. So an incorrect comment is always considered even worse than not writing any comment at all. So you should be careful. So when you change your code, be sure to update the comments too. So if you are changing your code and if it is not matching with the comments that you have written earlier, make sure that you change the comments too, so that a person who is reading your code again will not get confused, but he will always have access to the correct comments. So it is just a good practice to write good comments and make sure not to write wrong comments, because it is considered worse than even not writing any comments at all. Alright, so now we will see how to actually write the comments in C++. So coming to how to write the comments in C++, there are two types of comments in C++. One is a single line comment and the other one is known as a paired comment. So let's try to understand what are these and how they differ from each other, starting with the first one, that is single line comments. A single line comment starts with a double slash like this and ends with a new line. So everything to the right of the slashes on the current line is ignored by the compiler. So for writing single line comments, we just have to put a double slash like this, and whatever is written after this double slash till the end of that particular line will be ignored by the compiler, because that will be considered as a single line comment. So a comment of this kind can contain any text, including additional double slashes. So it can contain text, it can even contain other double slashes as well. So just remember that this is only for single lines. So if you want to comment two lines using single line comments, then you will have to put double slash on both the lines. So that is how multiple lines can be commented using these single line comments. So let's take an example. So here there is a program and here we are printing just one line. Let's learn single line comments. And here we see that there is a double slash and I have written a line here. This is a comment. It is ignored by the compiler. So the compiler is completely going to ignore this particular line that is written here, and it is not going to have any effect on the program. So let's just verify that by running this program in our Visual Studio Code. So here is that particular program that we just saw. So here we see that this is the comment. This is the line that is commented out, and let's see if the compiler is going to actually ignore this or not. So the name of my file is cs.cpp. So I'm going to the terminal, open a new terminal, and I'm going to compile this code. So I have to type g++ and name of the file, that is cs.cpp. Now enter. Okay, there are no errors. So let's run the output file. The output file is a.exe. That is a default output file that is created. So I have to type /a.exe, and here we see that the output is let's learn single line comments. So this is the one that is printed, and we see that this part is completely ignored by the compiler. So the compiler does not do anything with this part. Now, if I remove this double slashes, what will happen? Let's see. So if I remove this double slash, then we see that this is just a single line and we have not written it within cout, nor is it written within any particular identifier. It is just a single line and this is not a valid C++ syntax. So it should throw an error. So let us save this program and run it again here. So we see that this was not declared in this scope. So it is just going to throw error because of this line. So the main purpose of this is to just show that this double slashes comments out that particular line and the compiler actually ignores it. Okay, so that is about the single line comments. Now let's go to the next one. So the next one is paired comments. So in paired comments, it uses two delimiters, which is a slash asterisk and asterisk slash. So these are the two delimiters that I use, and let's see how to use them. It begins with this and it ends with this. So it begins with a slash asterisk and it ends with the asterisk slash, and everything written between this will be commented out. So these comments can include anything that is not a asterisk slash, including new lines. The compiler treats everything that falls between this and this as part of the comment. So here we see that we can write even multiple lines of comments. So we just have to make sure that whatever we want to comment out are enclosed between this and this. So these are the delimiters that are used. So let's take an example here again. So here we see that we are writing a program where I'm printing out let's learn paired comments, and then here I have the starting delimiter for our comment and I'm writing a whole line here. This is a paired type comment, and I come to the next line and here I have written that everything between the delimiters are ignored, and here we have a cout statement here again saying this too. And then this is the ending delimiter. So we see that it started here and it ends here. So whatever is between these two delimiters will be commented and it will be ignored by the compiler. So let's put this program into VS Code and see if it actually works. So here I have that same program that we just saw. We have the starting delimiter here and the ending delimiter here. So according to what we have studied, everything between this and this should be commented out. So the only thing that should be printed by this program is let's learn paired comments. Okay, let's compile this program. Let's go to terminal and open a new terminal here, and then the name of my file is cp.cpp. So I will compile it by typing g++ cp.cpp, and we see that it compiled successfully. There are no errors. Now let's run the output file, which is a.exe. So if I run it, we see that the output is let's learn paired comments. So this is the only thing that got printed, and everything that is commented out is ignored by the compiler. So this is how we write paired comments. Alright, so with that I hope you understood how to write paired comments. Now with respect to paired comments, there is one more thing that we need to keep in mind. That is, comment pairs do not nest. Now what do we mean by this? So a comment begins with slash asterisk and it ends with the next asterisk slash. Now as a result of this, one comment pair cannot appear inside another. That means this is a comment pair and inside this you cannot put another comment pair because it will cause a problem. So let's see why. So let's take an example here. So here we have taken an example that is the same example that we took in the previous slide, and here we have written let's learn paired comments, and here I am trying to comment these lines. Okay, so here we see that the delimiter starts here and it ends over here. This is the starting, this is the ending. Now in between this I am trying to add one more line of comment. Here you see another paired comment. So here I am starting the delimiter again and ending it again. So basically this comment is inside this comment. So we see that there is nesting of comment pairs occurring. Now what will happen if we compile this program? Let's see. So here I have that same program. We see that this comment starts here and it ends over here, and in between there is another pair of comments which is starting here and ending here. Okay, now if I compile this program, let's see what happens. We open a new terminal and the name of our file is cpn.cpp. So I will compile it using g++ space cpn.cpp. So let's press enter and we see that it is throwing an error here. So it is saying expected primary expression before slash. So what the compiler has actually done is it has treated this as the starting delimiter and this as the ending delimiter. So this is ignored. This is treated as a part of the comment text. So here it starts here and it ends here. So this is the actual pair that we have. Now up to here is commented out because this is starting, this is ending. Now here we see that now there is just an ending delimiter and there is no starting delimiter here. So because of that we see that nesting of comments cannot be done, and it is due to this that it has thrown an error. So that is why we say that nesting of comments is not possible. Okay, so I hope with that you understood why comment pairs do not nest. Okay, so with that we come to the end of comments. So I hope you understood what are comments and what are the types of comments that we have in C++ and how to use them for commenting out things that we want the compiler to ignore. Okay, now before we end this comments section, I will give you a few exercises. I will give you some cout statements with some comments and you have to find out what is the output for that. So here, what will be the output of the following statements? So here we have 4 statements. The first one is std cout, and then here within double quotes I have a /*, and here in the second one within double quotes I have */ and here in this third statement I have this delimiter here, and then this one within quotes and another delimiter here. And in the fourth statement I have one delimiter here, another one within double quotes, and another one here, and here again another one within double quotes and another delimiter here. So I want you to guess what will be the output of these following statements. So take a close look, analyze them, and try to apply whatever we have studied and try to find out what is the answer. So you can type in your answers in the comment section down below of this video, and in the next lecture we will discuss what is the actual output and why is the output like that. Okay, so you can try it by just looking at this, by analyzing it, and also you can try it using your Visual Studio Code. So see and observe each of the outputs and try to understand why the outputs are like that. So I hope this lecture about comments is clear to you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.